In today's video, we have a huge lineup of news. We're talking about some massive AEW plans, an AEW return that I am so excited for, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going down. Mercedes Mone is now holding 9 championship belts and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ango Show. And if you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button because I want to keep you guys updated along the way every single day. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. Every single time something big goes down in wrestling, I'm going to keep you guys updated. Like this, Pete Dunne made a surprise appearance at an indie wrestling show, Riot Cabaret Pro Wrestling, out in London. And this was really dope. Mark Andrews was defending his championship belt. He lost to Nico Angelo. And then he decided to do a post-match attack. He went off on him. But who made the save? Pete Dunne. I love this, man. I really, really, genuinely love this. I love the idea of WWE superstars randomly popping up at indie shows. WWE doesn't own, like, they don't owe it to the indie wrestling market for them to send their main roster stars out there. But from time to time, you get a little surprises like this. I genuinely love them. I think it's cool. If I was a fan in attendance and I don't know, like, if I bought a ticket and, the show looks really cool and then next thing you know, a WWE superstar shows up, like, that would be a massive surprise. It's really cool. I think fans deserve that. I think people should enjoy that. I think it's really cool when things like that actually go down, especially when, historically speaking, WWE doesn't typically allow that. Now we are seeing firsthand WWE is a little bit more receptive to these things. I'm sure WWE has like an approval process, but Pete Dunne, Natalia, we're seeing some of these names where maybe they're not doing something on the main roster right now currently, and they're kind of able to go off and venture. Also, WWE is doing an international tour right now as we prepare for Clash in Paris. So when that happens, I think it's really, really dope. You know what else is really dope? Winning 9 championship belts. That's Mercedes Mone. Last night, she defeated Emerson Jane in a title versus title match at Discovery Wrestling. She is now the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship, which now brings her belt count to 9. 9 titles is what Mercedes is holding. Some people hate it, some people like it. I personally don't mind it because a lot of people, and I've seen this in the comments before, I talked about this when she won her 8th championship belt, but let me just remind you that one of the big things here is a lot of people are saying, well, these belts are useless, right? Which, yes, technically speaking, in the grand scheme of things, they are kind of useless. A lot of these belts are just regular local indie promotion belts. They don't have a lot of notoriety. But, holding the CMLL belt, the Rev Pro belt, those are obviously quite notable. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. This is a huge win for professional wrestling because Mercedes Mone showing up in these smaller companies and then she's going to have to defend these belts, right? It helps indie wrestling. And Mercedes Mone doesn't owe it to the indie wrestling companies, right? Like I said earlier, WWE doesn't owe it to the indies to send their talent out to the indies. AEW and Mercedes Mone don't owe this to the indie companies. But by her holding these indie belts, not only does it enhance the visual of her being the belt collector, but she now has to appear in these companies from time to time, which could definitely help out in ticket sales and stuff of that nature. So congratulations to Mercedes Mone for claiming 9 belts. She wants a match with Bayley. I don't think we see Bayley leave WWE, but you never really know what can happen. Very cool stuff, though. Shout out to Mercedes. Guys, let's talk about it. WWE former superstar Keith Lee. I say former WWE superstar, and I don't use that loosely. It's because his run in AEW has not really been memorable. And this is not a dig at AEW. So if you guys think it is, that's your fault. Keith Lee in AEW has not really been a successful turn for him. It's not been a successful run. But the reason for that, really, I think, initially in the beginning, I think AEW kind of did okay with him. But we know that Keith Lee has been battling some sort of undisclosed health issues. And we're not speculating what those health issues are. We've heard the word that, the word going around was that it was very serious. But when it comes to Keith Lee, I just want to be perfectly clear. This is just unfortunate circumstances. And what's crazy is now there is a report from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select that has indicated Keith Lee's name has been brought up in backstage capacity. However, AEW has no creative plans for Keith Lee. Now, Keith Lee says he's fine. Is he cleared? We don't know. We don't know the medical diagnosis. We don't know what's really going down here. We don't really know the full scope of everything, but we do know that he's been off of television, and it's just kind of been a really shitty situation, to be honest. He's been off of television for a while. I want to say 2013. Yeah, he hasn't wrestled since December 2023. I don't know why I said 2013. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, he says that he is quite fine and the return isn't up to him. But AEW has no creative plans for him. They have nothing in the works for him. It sounds like this return won't be happening. I don't know. Maybe Tony Khan believes that Keith Lee could potentially be going to WWE. I don't know. A lot of speculation, a lot of things that we're just kind of guessing and thinking about. And the truth is, in situations like this, it kind of sucks because I think Keith Lee is so talented. I don't even know what I would expect from Keith Lee if he were to return to WWE. Just looking at the grand scheme of things with WWE and how they conduct business now, it is definitely not like NXT Black and Gold. So I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so frustrated. I think that's the truth, man. Keith Lee is one of those guys I had a lot. I still do, but I had a lot of respect for the work that he did in Black and Gold NXT. And then for him to go to AEW, it just didn't really pan out. And then it was just kind of a weird situation, and it doesn't look like it's happening, guys. So whatever happens, happens. I'll keep you guys updated, but this shit really sucks. And that brings us to our final topic. AEW has some massive plans. I personally like these plans. This shouldn't shock you that I like these plans because AEW is returning to Australia. And they are planning on more international shows. The official announcement came from AEW and TEG Sports, which basically is asking fans to waitlist to be the first to receive access to pre-sale information. AEW won't reveal the date. They won't reveal the name of the show, but they are returning in 2026. They are claiming that it's going to be epic, which is awesome. That's cool. Use big buzzwords. I'm all for it. But the belief is that they're going to be doing an actual tour in Australia. Sydney and Melbourne in February is likely where it's happening, at least according to Fightful Select. So, more international shows for AEW. I know people probably want to criticize me for saying this, but I think AEW should be doing more international shows. Their international crowds are a lot better than America. I feel like they have a better footprint internationally. And I love the idea of international expansion. I think it's great for WWE how they do it. I think AEW should do the same thing and really hit those areas hard and then move on from there. It's going to be really telling to see what they do, but they do have some more international plans. And then obviously we have Forbidden Door this weekend. So as you can imagine, it's probably going to be relatively big stuff. Now the question is, do they go for stadiums or do they go for relatively smaller arenas? I don't know. Something to pay attention to. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Angle Show.